I have an interesting relationship with the Zen Drive because when I got into them, like when I first heard Robin, for some reason, like I knew the Zen Drive existed, but my mind didn't connect his tone to that pedal specifically.
Yeah.
So I kind of just let that go. I did have two Zen Drives,
Mm.
three, maybe. I don't know. I've had a few of them, but they weren't the Hermita ones. The
Mm.
first one I ever bought was the red high gain Guitar Center special one.
Ah,
Horrible pedal.
yeah.
Horrible pedal, in my opinion. I think it
Yeah, it's
sounds
not
like hot
good.
trash.
I've played all those too because
It's
I
not as
love
good.
pedal.
No, I don't like the red one as much, for sure.
And I had the gold one, which
Mm.
I also didn't like.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't like it either.
But my friend had the original Hermita, like classic Zen
Mhm.
Drive, and I remember playing that thing with a DGT. I know I'm not with a DGT.
Yeah.
Through that guy
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
a super reverb, and I loved it. But for some
Mhm.
reason, I never got that same experience with any other Zen Drive. So, what would you say is like the difference between the classic and then the rest of them? Like, am I insane, or are they really that different?
Oh, they're for the original. So this is an original
Yeah,
one.
tell us about the history.
Okay, so like this is like one of the early ones. The way you can tell, I have 7 of these of the original ones. I don't, and then I have this.
Holy
These are the
shit.
only kinds of Zen drives I have. I don't
By
have
the way, the Zen Drive 2 has a tube in it. Was it AX7, right?
Okay, so you can put whatever you want in it.
I
You can put
had
any-
one of those. I had one of those and posted it on Reverb. In 30 minutes, I was driving to someone's house to drop it off in their mailbox. It is, and
Yeah.
I'm a moron. What are
Yeah.
those, like $800 now?
They're like
stupid.
800 ish.
They're fucking. I sold it for like
Which-
280.
Which this is actually on sale on Reverb right now because I plug it in and I'm like the reason I'm just like nostalgic for the Zen Drive thing and I'm like, oh, I should have it because I like it, but it just doesn't do the same thing that this does. It's like squishier, and I've tried other tubes with it. I just didn't like it as much. It's a little harder to get. I read online that you can take the tube out and it'll run like a normal Zen Drive, but I don't. It's bigger than this, and I have a bunch of these, so don't need this. But anyways,
But the difference is though, yeah.
It's a big difference, though. I think it's a big difference.
I want to, yeah. Go ahead and yeah.
So the difference between the tube one and this one is it's like way darker. No matter what tube I put in it, I put Tongue Soul, I put in JJ, I put in a Mullard, and I put in a Groove tube, and then there's like one of those Chinese Ruby ones that I have. I tried a bunch. And it's dark. It's really dark sounding, and the gain comes on slower, which is weird because online, when he sold these, it listed as like, I think higher gain than this. So it did, but it didn't really seem that way to me. It's way harder to dial in. There's like, I can only ever get one good tone out of this thing, for me. Yeah. But some people love it. Like, I think this would be a good one for someone who really plays like hard rhythm. Like it does.
Sounds like it could be a good slide sound too. Maybe.
It was real. I was about to say it was really good when I had my Marshall. That's what and then as soon as I sold that, I sold the pedal because I just like it didn't sound good with any Fender I tried. It sounded really good with the Marshall, like really good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I guess I meant the differences between the original one and the other color.
Oh, I see. I see.
Sorry.
So the really big difference for me is the way they feel and somewhat how they sound. I think the feel is really the biggest thing between this and the reissues. Which the reissues, the reissues are fine. Like they're fine. I'm not like if you want to get a Zen Drive or Dumble sound, I think there are ways to get it, and I still think it's better to go for the reissue or the Gladio single channel with the bass dumped out completely are the only ones that I experienced, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's like this, but it's not this. I had the Gladio, I sold it. Because there's like this openness that this has. Like
that's what I experienced too.
Yeah,
I felt like the other ones were too compressed and they were too muffled. Like there was like no fidelity in the other ones. And then when I played that original, the original one that my buddy had that wasn't love pedal, it just seemed to be much more natural and more open and more clear.
It feels more like an amp. And it sounds more like an amp. I don't know if it actually does, but like while you're playing it, the something about it is just it's like a symbiotic thing where it's like
I mean, where Dan is right now, I've gone over to his house a bunch of times and played it.
Yeah.
He used to have a couple bigger 2-rocks, or like he had the classic reverb, which is now gone. And the what else? The other one you had a studio signature head.
Head into a 212, and I still have the combo studio sig.
We've sat in his room and tested them per guitar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are some that sound better with certain, like some sound better with Strats and Tellys and humbuckers, and it's just
so. This is an early one, which you can kind of see. It's like actually nice, like metal. I don't know if you can tell through there, but it's like nice metal. This is like a sticker, and it's like matte. Yeah. So this is an really early one. It's what the shiny finish is, and then this is a mid one, and then the newest ones before they sold the Love pedals say Hermida Audio on the bottom, but they look like this. They're matte. And they say Hermida Audio, and the light's always on the bottom of the side. There's so many people don't know if they have a real one or not.